Good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this fine Tuesday evening. It's weird having football on a Monday, the first game of the season, because it kind of throws you off, and especially when you're on holiday. It's the missus is off this week, so we always take our holidays in August here in Spain, and it's always weird. Yeah, just Monday night football. It is what it is, as they say. Right, there's lots I want to talk about tonight. I want to get your opinion on everything Celtic, because I want to talk about Paulo Bernardo this evening, and I want to talk about last night. I want to talk about the lack of anything from the board. Just make sure that this is working. Yes, it all is. And then we're going to look at the match gallery, and we're going to talk about what Martin O'Neill said, and we're going to talk about Benji Negrin also. But first off, let's look at the match gallery from last night's game. Obviously, there's Callum McGregor coming onto the pitch with the trophy. Callum just doing his thing. The man of many misses, and I don't mean women, I mean open goals. The man of many misses, and maybe if he pulled his, maybe somebody wants to say to Casper, mate, go and take your socks down past your knees. It's no hold ups you've got on. Just saying. Don't know. I mean, has anybody seen the film Filth? It's a cracking film. James McGrory, I think it was. I can't remember. James McAvoy. If anybody's seen that film, they'll get what I'm talking about. But it is just pure banter, as they say. But anyway, we move on from that. Callum McGregor looking at the SPFL trophy. Look who's standing behind Callum. Yes, there's some Celtic hierarchy standing behind Callum. But they didn't want to say anything last night. They didn't say anything at all. They just looked and said, Callum, you pull up the flag and we'll stand here and say nothing. Whatever happened about the touch of bratbacks about Ho? Let's not say that. Film was goal. It was a cracking film, wasn't it? Absolutely cracking film. But anyway, Callum McGregor hoisting the flag. And if you look here, look at this wee dweeb who's meant to be the man that runs the company, the man that speaks for the club. But he didn't say a word last night. He allowed Callum McGregor to take to the stage and pull up the flag. Not one thing from the board about, how the fans helped us and, let's try to go again. It was a great achievement. Nothing. Not a thing. Not a thing that, we were an absolute shit show last year. The team got 7 wins in a row, and he just stands there and says nothing. Let's bitch slap him. Anyway, let's move on from that. Callum McGregor then pulling up the flag again, and champions again, ole ole, and then lots of flag pictures, and just from different angles. There we go. It was nice to see Scott Brown. Scott Brown was at the game last night, sitting round about this way. In fact, no, it's not Brown. Sitting over this way, just behind, probably sitting near Mr. Dara. The fireworks, no pyro, no party. But if you like pyro off in the stands, you're it's the same pyro every year. Celtic logo off. You think they would try and get a bit more, a little bit green, white, and gold in it, rather than just the green and white, and then some flames. But yeah, is what it is. And then that was the start of the match. There is the huddle. Yang, let's not talk about him. Somebody clipped me and put me onto Twitter, and there's seemingly been a bit of a meltdown on Twitter. I went on and I'd been tagged in it, and there was loads of notifications, and I'm like, fuck. I'm looking for stuff today with transfers and stuff, and all this notification about all this melt. I didn't read a word of it. I was just like, fucking back off this nonsense. But anyway, there's Yang, and there's the man of many misses. I've never played on grass before. I need to play on grass. You played in grass in the Champions League and you scored goals, you big wuss. You just had a shite night at the office, admit it. None of this, I need to learn how to play on grass stuff. And look what Callum's doing. How could Celtic put out a picture like this of Callum McGregor? He's got his pointy finger out. He's got his pointy finger out. Oh, I'm gonna have to screenshot that. We're gonna have to keep that for later. We're gonna have to keep that one for later. It is Trusty. I'm surprised that Trusty got a little bit of stick last night. Yang's going to cure my Korean Netflix addiction. Really? Good luck with that. There's Camilo Duran played out of position, played pish. It's not right. And there's the goalkeeper, who's not sure what to say about him, because he could have done a little bit better than what he did do last night. And there's Benji Negrin's header. Benji Negrin doing it again. Casper Ho going, so that's how you do it in Scottish football. And absolutely brilliant from Benji Negrin. How many pictures can you get of the one goal? Well, seemingly quite a lot if you're a professional photographer that works for Celtic. And there he is again. Absolutely ecstatic that he gets off to. It's a bit creepy, just like zooming in. I don't know. It's like there is there. We'll get a little bit closer and then we zoom right in. And there's Callum. He looks like an even he looks like an extra out of filth. Shouldn't say that. There's Arnie Engels looking at Casper. Casper saying, "Oh, hold on a minute. Should I leave for West Ham, or who should I go to? Should I stay here with this man with the hair?" Kieran Tierney. Somebody should we should take a picture of that and then just have a Kieran Tierney. What is Kieran Tierney thinking at this minute? Did I squeeze this one out, or is it a? Anyway, and then it's back to the beginning. That is the pictures of the game last night. Go anywhere, Engels. Go anywhere, Engels. You expecting that boards will do anything green and white and gold? You're joking, Baz. They struggle with the green and white. Oh, Paul, we should get on the board. And then see if either one of us, right? We'll do a deal, right? Pinky promise. To me and you, right? If either one of us win the Euro Millions, we just pump it into Celtic and we just take over. We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. And we'll go in and we just give it fucking Rebel Fest. See those fucking lot getting it brogues and all that shit. We just go full pelt. You walk into Celtic Park and it's, come on, you black and tans, come on and fight me like a man. Show your way for you on Mellows down in Flanders. Tell her how. Just like that. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that that's your that's everyone's ringtone in Celtic. Anyway, Benji Negrin says last night after the game he reflected on it, and he said it was a difficult game. He said we had some chances in the first half. It would have been a different game if we had scored earlier. That's how it works sometimes. You've got to respect the opponent. Sometimes you have to wait a little bit for the goal. We can just focus on creating chances. He created the chances, Benji, but the problem is that Casper didn't put them away. I'm a player who always wants to get on the ball and create chances, not only for myself, but my teammates, says Benji Nygren. Benji Nygren could have had 2 goals last night if Casper didn't get in the road. Like I said, sometimes it's a 1-goal day, and today 1 goal was enough. That was Benji Nygren. Now, interesting was listening to the manager. Celtic decided to put out their interview. It was around about I can't remember. It was this afternoon anyway, and it wasn't last night. They must have just went, I'm away at my bed, man. It's Monday night. You're not wanting me to edit a video on Monday night. Come on, it's been on Sky and stuff. You know, it's you don't want us to put a video out. Sky's done it. I mean, Martin's been interviewed by everybody. Can we not just go home, Michael? Please. Celtic dominated the play, according to the Celtic website. Well, we did, didn't we? Speaking to the Celtic player after the match, Martin O'Neill gave his take on the performance. He says, we won, which was the most important thing. He says, I thought we were pretty rusty. Martin O'Neill is starting to contradict himself. And I'm going to keep on really listening to Martin O'Neill's interviews over the next couple of weeks, because like Brendan Rodgers last year, Brendan Rodgers' interviews took us on a roller coaster, which ultimately left with him being expelled. Was he expelled or was he just paid off? According to Celtic, he walked. You don't walk away for £3 million plus a year contract. You do not walk away. There is negotiations, payoffs, and in this day and age, nobody walks away from £3 million contract. The fact that we've never heard from Brendan says that it was probably one of those deals that the same that he got the last time. Here's cash, sign this, fuck off and shut up. Don't talk about us again. One of those ones by Celtic. Anyway, Martin O'Neill says, when you consider the games that we played with high intensity last season, I thought first half we didn't have that intensity. What have you been doing all summer, Martin? What have we been training on? How's pre-season? How did that go? Getting all the players in before pre-season, getting them all training, getting all the pre-season stuff. But you said that we were rusty going into this game. We had to try and force the issue in the second half, which I think we did, says Martin O'Neill. We got the goal. Overall, we won. We created a number of chances, but in all honesty, said Martin O'Neill, the win was the most important thing. Everybody's watched the Martin O'Neill interview, and I think that it's one of those things that, you know, as Chris Sutton said last night, it was job done. Celtic were making it hard for themselves. Chris Sutton said during the game, Celtic are completely making this hard for themselves. I mean, could you imagine a team with Chris Sutton, Henrik Larsson, Alan Thompson, etc., in a game like that? The score would have been about 5-0. And it could have been last night. I don't know. But anyway, even Chris Sutton says, should have, could have won by more, but 3 points is the most important thing. Wasn't Casper's night, but be patient, and patience is required. Love seeing Cameron Carter-Vickers back. He's been missed. The club should not sell Alistair Johnston unless it is silly money. Where does Celtic then lie? Because Alistair Johnston has informed Celtic that he now wants to leave the club. When a player wants to leave the club, you're not going to get the 25-30 million that you could probably get if Alistair Johnston went, I don't really want to leave the club. Paul Baird says, don't kid yourself. Martin is nothing like Brendan Rodgers. So, with that being said, Paul, do you think that Martin O'Neill will suffer in silence over the lack of investment over the summer and the ill preparedness. The fact that Celtic are ill prepared for the upcoming Champions League game. Because let's face it, we are nowhere near where we need to be. Just wondering. And Alistair Johnston's got 3 years on his contract. So, yes, he has, but it doesn't matter, doesn't it? Brendan Rodgers was right, the board, so the fans could get off his back. Were the board getting on Brendan Rodgers back for his side-to-side crap passing football, or was it the fact that he just wanted to leave? Anyway, the fact is that Celtic need players in. Now, it's been said that Paulo Bernardo faces an uncertain future. I think that we all know that. Paulo Bernardo needs game time. Whilst it was nice for Callum to unfurl the flag last night, couldn't we have shown a bit of imagination and had the honour carried by Agath? Did he Agath? Why? Why did he Agath? Just get Sutton done. Sutton's sitting upstairs, doing nothing, sitting with a microphone like this. I don't know. I think that Martin O'Neill's been thrown under the bus. Oh, that's a comment and a half. Another fiasco coming in Champions League playoff. Yes, I'm not looking forward to it. I said that this morning. I'm not going to go over it again. Can we say bye-bye to the Champions League money now this season again if business is not done sooner rather than later? Same old story. Not another player on until after the Champions League football is guaranteed. Scott, if that's the case, what are Celtic playing at then? Because there was a time, and people have pointed it out. Look, you said this morning about Alistair Johnston being in place before Juranovic left for Berlin. And during that time, we brought in Matt O'Reilly that was going to replace Aaron Moy. We always brought in players under Ange a transfer window before we expected the player to leave. It's the same people that run the club. They would have seen how well that worked out. The only changes that there has been is managers. Now, surely if you've got someone that comes into your organisation, and if they come in and they go, you're because they said to me, can you work to this system? And I said, well, it was a sales system, and I thought if I can make an improvement, I would suggest an improvement to that sales system. The guy looked at me with fear and went, and that was it. And that was after 3 stages. That was after 3 interviews. It was that kind of high level job that I used to go for. And the company in question said, no, they basically had a book and you stuck to it religiously. And if you don't think, just do. And I'm quite a thinker. And I think that's what Celtic want, isn't it? It's just somebody that just does and doesn't think. Anyway, speculation that Arne Engels could be on his way to West Ham. West Ham are up in their bids slightly. They are still trying to get him on the cheap. But it leaves the likes of Rio Hatate and Paulo Bernardo in the team. Paulo Bernardo's now been here a good couple of years and he's sat on the bench for most of it. Does Paulo Bernardo have a dilemma? Should Paulo Bernardo ask for a transfer? Let's do a poll on that one. Should Paulo ask for a transfer? Easy one, yes or no. Do a quick poll for that one tonight. Should Paulo Bernardo ask for a transfer out of Celtic due to the fact that he cannot get any game time? I thought that Bernardo was better than Engels and was brilliant under Brendan Rodgers first time. The board was in Brendan Rodgers' back because he told the fans the truth, and he was right. It certainly matters. Johnson has 3 years left. Sick of our players going to be replaced by cheap, shifty loan players. Well, if you look at, we sold Juranovic, we brought in Juranovic, sold him for a profit. We paid less for Alistair Johnson. What did we pay? 3.75 million for Alistair Johnson or something? Can't remember. So it's a good turnaround. Bernardo would be a better six than Callum. Scott says Dermot Desmond is changing the business model to the detriment of the club. Gave up our tickets. Not another penny. Scott is now not in the expensive seats. He gave up the expensive seats. Well, fair play, mate. Fair play. Because I think that I know that anybody that gives up seats that are of quality at Celtic sends out a big message to the board. Anyway, if Celtic don't sign a couple of players this week, then the following week, we have no chance of qualifying for Champions League football 2 seasons in a row. Nicholson hasn't a bloody clue. If we do not bring in players of quality, now the first game is on the 19th. We have to bring in at least a minimum of 2 players this week. That will give them 1 full week in training to get to know the team, get to know the players, understand the systems before we go into the game on Wednesday the 19th. And that is important because you want players bedded in. Everything that the board has said, everything is now, it means nothing. We have given the board the benefit of the doubt. I didn't want this to be a negative video tonight, but we're kind of heading that way, as it's 4 days, 19 hours and 15 minutes until the next Celtic game. When you look at the game at Celtic Park on the 19th of August, surely as a club, you when you come out and you say, we have learned from our mistakes from last season, can someone that is maybe a bit more brighter than me in picking out the obvious, which isn't hard, there's tens of thousands of users out there, I'm just a poor boy, nobody knows. She's singing in the back room. Can someone show me significant improvements that our standing chairman says that we would make before this season? Because we're in a worse place right now than where we were last season. It's absolutely, it's bonkers. 12 million for Alistair Johnson, try 4.4. Ooh. Brendan Rodgers truthfully said a hell of a lot about himself. There we go. Brian says, we are no longer driving a Honda Civic. We're driving a Hugo GV. And that's a really old car that came out of Yugoslavia before the war. Back in the day. Now, they've come out with a new version. But for those, it was a compact front-wheel drive hatchback. It was the Eastern European version of the Golf GTI. But it only cost you like $1,000. It's where the GTI was serious money and serious power. And here is the worst car in history. Here is here is Should have tried to find one in green, shouldn't I? Oh dear God, that's what it's came to, isn't it? That is what it's came to, and we will. It gets even worse. It does get even worse because even the green color of the car. Oh, Jesus. Well, they even do merch. Hugo does merch. But yeah, we're now no longer a Honda Civic. We're an Eastern European bloc ex USSR fake Golf GTI wannabe. The Hugo. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your new signing. The Hugo. Made in Yugoslavia. Country that no longer exists. A bit like Rangers. It's a good one. It's just flowing in the Well, right now? Yeah, I'll read it. Yes, but not at this moment. I'm kind of busy. Just in case you hadn't realised. I'm not talking to myself. Well, I am. But, you know, this, thank God. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And then here come the cats. I don't know what's worse. Anyway, we digress because we did do a poll, and the poll, should Paulo Bernardo ask for a transfer? 83% say yes. Can we get that up in the screen? Can we get the poll? No, we can't. So, only downside. What does this do? So there we go. Should Paulo ask for a transfer? A couple of years sitting on the bench. He's not even getting to sit on the bench now because Celtic brought in Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. 83% of Celtic fans the survey says, 83% said yes, Paulo should ask for a transfer. 17% said no, Paulo Bernardo should not ask for a transfer. Let me just check. Right, let's make a channel prediction. Channel prediction. Oh, I like this one. Thank you to what's the nickname? Michelle. Just call her Michelle. Thanks for Michelle for this one. How many goals do you think that Celtic will score? Tell me in the comments section this evening. 17% are blind. Would you name Engels as a shit at taking corners? Yeah. Tell me in the comments section. It's quite a quiet night tonight. It's weird. It's like people are all footballed out. How many goals do you think that Celtic will score this season? I'm going to go for 96 goals. Rio asking for a transfer, but no one wants him. Get rid of him. I'm going to go for 96 goals. How many goals do you think that we can score this season? When you look back to last season, goals log 150 goals. Oh, there's some big predictions coming in there. Kev goes for 76 goals. Catholic Rebel goes for 89. Niall goes for 79, 101, 97. Ooh, 97 goals. If one or two leave, looks like our team will fall apart, like the Hugo GV. Weren't they like solid little cars though? They just ran forever. or were they just? I don't know. It's not the type of car that I would have looked at. It was just the worst car in the world. 88 goals, 87, 85 to 95 goals. We've been lured into a false sense of security with the Casper signing. Yes, we have, but let's try and get it a little more positive for tonight. 60 goals, says John. James, 80 goals, same for seasons. 105 goals, 150 goals, says Paul Baird. Oh, Big Bookie wins that one last night. Unfortunately, there was one of the guys on the channel lost out on a 240 odd quid bet because Casper missed the just open goals. 74 goals, 500 goals. Lol, what are you playing? FIFA. We will score 100 goals plus this season, more than last season. Is it all competitions? Yes, it's all competition. How many goals will we score in the whole entirety of the season? If it's all competitions, 150. How many chances has Bernardo had now? Consistently, as a run of games, you can't give someone, say that they're getting a chance and give them 20 minutes or a game in the cup. Surely you have to give a player 5, 6, 7, 8. Ho, 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 ho. 120 goals. I've got told to stop singing. 85 goals. Hear me out. Benji Negrin will be our best player this season. Oh, along with Casper Ho. I think so. I don't underestimate Camilo Duran once he gets into that midfield place. 38 league games. Where did the comment go for that? Equals 35 goals. 90 to 100 goals, says Gel. 113, 101, 97. Is it just league? No, it's everything. All competitions. All competitions put together. How many will we score? Wheelbarrows are the worst thing you'll ever... Don't judge a book by its cover. Tom. What's wrong with a wheelbarrow? $118 goals, 110 in all competitions, 118 we will score in the last 2 seasons. We have to. 121 in all competitions, 116. All the competitions, all over 100 and 100, and then 80 in the league. Just wanted to say the round of applause for Michael Johnson and Chris Mackay. No doubt ruined our Champions League where the consistent low ball offers, says Jim Lister. Right, now that we've done that one, I'm not doing that one. Who do you think will be top goal scorer this season, player of the year, and young player of the year? I'm going to go for Casper Ho for top goal scorer. I'm going to go for player of the year. I am going to go for player of the year. What happened there? Oh, it's that. I thought that was YouTube that was mucking up there. Player of the year, I think that's Celtic player of the year. Early prediction. I think it'll be Benji Negrin. I think Benji Negrin will be top goal scorer and he'll be player of the year. Just got a funny feeling. Young player of the year, I'm going to give that to Donovan. Donovan, right? Get your comments in on that one. Bernardo's our best midfielder. Sriracha reported agreed a deal signed for the MSL club. Did that not fall apart though? We need supply, said goals. Yes, we do. Casper and Duran as player of the year. Young player goes to Donovan. Casper, KT and Murray. Ooh, interesting one. Michael Nicholas Nicholson. It's Nicholson. Who's Nicholas? Nicholas? As in Christmas. Nicholas, as in Santa Claus. Michael Nicholson should get his wallet out of his pocket or Nicholas, that's Santa. Duran for Player of the Year, Casper for Player of the Year, Player of the Year, Kieran Tierney, Casper Ho, or Player of the Year, Duran. Top goal scorer, Duran. Casper is top goal scorer. Duran is Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, Young Donovan. A lot of people going for Donovan. What if Donovan doesn't get enough games? Kalmak is Player of the Year. God, just drop the mic. Jesus. I say Duran top goal scorer, player Jamesy, young player Kobe Donovan. What if James Forrest was to be Player of the Year in his last ever year at Celtic? Player of the Year probably hasn't signed yet, says Paul Baird. Whoopah! Just bringing us all back down to earth with that one. KT for Player of the Year. Player of the Year, KT, top goal scorer. Casper, Young Player of the Year. Osmond. Oh, nobody's done that one yet, have they? Young Osmond. And there was a fantastic video of Callum Osmond that met a young fan and then said to the young fan, "Are you going to be at the Dundee game?" And then he went to his car and handed them a pair of his training boots and signed them and gave them to the young fan. What a man young Donovan is. He's a fantastic young player. Top goal scorer, Casper. Player of the Year, Kieran Tierney. Young player, Donovan. Ooh, I think that James came in with young Osmond as Young Player of the Year. Could happen. Benji Negrin, top goal scorer, Arthur Young? What? Arthur Young, one off season and going for Player of the Year. Got a feeling. Maybe one of our defenders. Said Tam. Duran, a loan for Player of the Year and a loan for Casper will be in the goals. I hope the Player of the Year isn't in the building yet. I'm going to run to yeah. Sick of repeating this, says Dave Morton. We need players in. I'm not the board. Go up to Celtic Park and say that. At this rate, Baz will be running around looking for loan players. I don't even think they will find loan players. It'll be like looking for Rangers. Nobody's ever found them coming yet either. Nicholson doesn't have a wallet. He has a purse. Do you think he runs down the town with a man bag? Shouldn't have dissed the man bags, because a lot of the young team, all these ultras and that, they all use man bags. Anyway. Agree. Jamesy, Player of the Year. It's been a shit show. Martin had a meeting today with Nicholson. Yeah, it went like this. Michael! They have taken you away. If Stone Trevelyan's gone, Michael. Oh. Michael Nicholson. Martin O'Neill tries to phone Michael. Hello, Michael. Yes. Behind the lonely prison wall, I heard a young bird say, Michael, they have taken you away, for you stole Parkhead's gold. Oh, Jesus God, really? Young Arthur, Player of the Year. My bad. Young Arthur's not even at Celtic anymore. Anyway, right, we'll get on for that. We're kind of done and dusted tonight. 126 goals, 87. 87? Anyway, I did ask the poll question. Should Paulo Bernardo ask for a transfer because he is out on a limb? He's that far out that 80% of people tonight said yes, he should ask for a transfer. You've got to get games to win awards. Anyone seen the video of the wife and the horse called Stephen? She thought it was dead. That was Martin. when he came up to meet Nicholson. Don't get that one. Right, let me do a quick check just to see what's happening. Celtic have been outbid for a player. I don't even want to talk about it. Hasim Hassan rejects a lucrative offer from Saudi Arabia amid Celtic interest. Hasim Hassan is reported to have turned down a lucrative offer from Saudi Arabia as he prioritised staying in European football. The winger remains one of the players that Martin O'Neill is looking at the transfer window. Will they get him? I pretty much doubt it. Reports say that the 24-year-old was offered a 5-year contract worth around $2 million a season at Celtic. Or no, it wasn't, at the other club. He's said to have rejected that offer instead to refuse to focus on that would encourage Celtic, it says. I'm not even going to look at transfer stuff because there is no point. There is no point. There is no point. The biscuit tin is sat in the Cayman Islands with Desmond's sausage fingers on its lid. Right, unfortunately, that is me done and dusted for this evening. A little bit quieter than it's been of late. Mustn't have got the title just right, or people just pissed off with everything Celtic tonight. And after being at the game last night, they're like, there is no way that I even want to talk anything about Celtic. Yeah, Pablo, you're like me. I'm not believing any reports now. It's all drivel. I'm not believing any reports I see about links, and never mind sausages. I'm not. Any links to any players can just be pure made up. Pure made up. Until we get confirmation that a player is booked a flight, his medical's confirmed, there's no point talking about ifs, buts and maybes. With that being said, I shall see you all in the morning. Have an absolutely fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are. All around the world. One last one. Comment. How many players want to see if Celtic qualify for the Champions League before signing? I'm not buying that old chestnut. Not at all. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.